Good morning, everyone. It's great to be here. My name is Sneer Rozenfeld, and I am the Vice President of Sales at Cyber 2.0. I'm very honored to be here this morning today with you. Thanks everyone for joining from across the world. I will be presenting the Cyber 2.0 solution for you today. We will be speaking about different things in cyber area. We will conclude the 2020 year in the cyber world, and we will show you what's going on and how to address the new challenges that went through the market. So let me share my screen and let us start the presentation. If you have any questions, please write them in the question and answer tab, and I will address them later on. And let us begin. We are Cyber 2.0, and we are saying that hacking cannot be stopped, but the spreading of it can be. Now, before we dive deeper, let's speak about last year. Well, currently we started 2021, and 2020 just finished. It was a very interesting year. In many accords, it was the year of the cyber. It was the year of the pandemic. COVID-19 hit us, hit everyone. It hit us hard, and there was a lot of closure going on. First closure, second closure, third closure. Many people were closed at home, but it was also a lot of business opportunities coming in 2020. First of all, the working from home started elevating very much because in order for businesses to continue their working, they had to allow their employees to work from home. And working from home, well, brought in a whole new work environment to the cyber world. And we've seen an increase in 800% about attacks that coming from employees coming from home. There was a lot of new attacks, and using the employees from home organization got penetrated. We'll speak about it later on. And that was part of the thing that happened during 2020. Now, here's a hacker story for you, and let's see what happens. Well, the thing is this. Everyone's moving to the cloud. Everyone thinks that the cloud is more secure. Well, here is one of the stories we've seen in one of our customers, and this is it. Well, one of the big cloud manufacturers had started enlisting customers, and a hacker impersonated the customer and purchased a server in that same cloud. Now, everybody was okay with that, and he paid for his domain. Everything is okay, and he got a room inside the cloud. Now, once he was inside the cloud, he started exploiting security vulnerabilities to reach other servers on the farm. He was seeing his neighbors, he was spying on them, stealing their data, and once he gained access to the server, it could do anything he wanted. Now, very important to note that the biggest breakthroughs made in recent years have been made through cloud services. When we speak about going to the cloud, even though it has a lot of advantages, it also has a lot of risks. So one of the things that came to light in 2020 was, people understood that it was not a question of if, but a question of when. Customer realized they cannot stop the next attack, no matter who the organization or how big they are. The cyber world, the cyber world, when we look at it, we see that it is built on biological models, and we will go deeper into that. But every time we saw that, no matter what you're doing, using anomaly detection, behavior analysis, whatever solution customer implemented, and they implemented a lot of solutions, they were still getting attacked. And there's a reason behind that, because the reason says, well, biology-based solutions are vulnerable to attacks, and the result is already known. And in order for us to be at last one step ahead of the hackers, in order for us to start protecting ourselves in a new way, we need to change the method we are thinking. We need to think outside of the box, and we need to bring something new to the game. And this is where we come to play, and this is what I'm going to show you. Cyber 2.0 was built on an idea that if we continue doing the same things, we will get the same results, and everybody knows the results, right? you finally will be attacked. So let's see what we are doing. We brought a system that is based on chaos mathematics. We'll speak about it later on, but let's see what we are doing. We are Cyber 2.0 when we give total defense against the spread of all cyber attacks, including new and unknown ones within and outside organizational network. Now, everybody knows the problem. We spoke about it, but let us speak about it a bit more. In any company, in any given moment, a single computer might be penetrated by a malicious software. It happens on a daily basis, and the real damage is not a single computer getting penetrated by a malicious software. The real damage comes once that malicious software starts spreading through the network, infecting other computers and servers. Now, the first computer will always be attacked. I cannot control the human factor. A single computer might be penetrated, but our system will know to isolate the attack. We will know to stop any new attack that will reach or infect a single computer, and we will stop it from spreading through the network, infecting other computers and other servers. Let's speak a little bit about the other solutions, as we said it before. Well, existing solutions, when we look at them, and we have a lot of good friends in the cyber world, but when we look at it, existing solutions don't really know how to cope with all the cyber attacks. Existing solutions rely on a hold method called detection prevention. First, they try to recognize and detect every malicious software that is right by its meaning, and everyone has their own unique method about doing detection. Some of them are doing anomaly detection. Some of them are doing behavior analysis. We have signature-based systems out there. Some of them are reading the packets, looking for malicious codes or part of codes within the packets. But eventually, you can never eventually you could never identify every malicious software that is out there. You can never have 100% detection, as 0-day by its nature cannot be detected. And if I cannot detect you, then I could never stop the attack. Furthermore, defense systems today are good as long as they are operational. Once a hacker gets a hold of a computer, the first thing he does is disable the defense system. And once a hacker disables the defense system, the customer is no longer protected. We address that challenge in two ways. First of all, since we understand that I cannot rely on detection because I will never be able to identify every malicious software, then we don't rely on detection. We don't have to identify or detect any malicious software running through the network in order for us to block it. And in order for us to give a great solution for prevention, our system is built in a manner that even if a hacker disables my agent from an infected computer, we continue protecting the network. Our system is based on chaos algorithm. When we look at the cyber world, we saw something very similar to all defensive and offensive systems. When we look at them, we see that they are all based on biological models. And biological models, by nature, they're vulnerable to attackers that are using the same model. All the terms in the cyber world are also borrowed from biology. We have virus, we have antivirus, we have mutation, injection, and so on. Now, let's break it down a bit more. Every year, we do a vaccine against the flu. And every year, the flu evolves, mutates, and come back again to attack us. And once the flu reaches a pig, then we have the pig flu, and then we have a chicken flu. And the same thing applies to computers. The same virus, if a hacker takes it, change one line of code or something like that, and it's a whole new virus, and we need to reinsert the defense systems and update everything and so on. Our system is based on chaos mathematical model, and it's very nice to say it, but our own CTO, Mr. Aris Kaplan, couldn't hack the same system he himself devised. So let's take it a bit further. Our system is based on 9 patents. We are very unique by using chaos mathematics. We will speak about it later on when we reach the prevention side. So we went out to the market, and when we went out to the market, we saw that the market was full. There were a lot of cyber solutions out there. And every solution, every good salesman will always say that his solution is the better one. And everyone's doing the same thing. And customers don't really know how to decide which solution is the better one, how to decide which one is greater, which one is more suitable for us. We decided to put our money where our mouth is. We decided to take it to the next level, and we did three great hacking challenges. We basically invited all the hackers to try and penetrate a network that is protected by our system. Now, we didn't deploy no antivirus, no EDR, no firewall. Basically, only Cyber 2.0 system was deployed. The hackers had a legit computer within the network. They had an admin user, they have admin password. They had everything they wanted, and all they had to do was obtain a file from a file server from a known location. Now, we told them that if you will succeed, then you will receive a great wad of money. In Israel, it was 100,000 shekels at 2018. In the United States, we took it a bit further to $100,000. No one was able to beat the challenge. Furthermore, during 2020, since the COVID-19 hit us and everyone was stuck at home, well, we decided to take it to the next level. We took our challenge to the cloud. We put the challenge to the cloud and we opened it up on a global scale. We had over 3,000 hackers trying to penetrate us from 14 different states. Now think about it. No matter how much penetration test you do, and everyone does some penetration test, and there are a lot of great companies that do that, but no matter how much we put our system to the test, you can never have 3,000 hackers trying to attack you simultaneously at the same time. Now that was amazing, and again, the system held up, but it was great QA, it was great test for our system. We will be speaking about later on about more things to come. We will speak about working from home, how we adapted our solution to protect the new threat, the new environments that our people are working from today. Our system also is a great network access control system. We'll speak about our network access control capabilities and our unique advantages over existing NAC solutions. Our system is adaptable to work in IT and in OT environments. We deployed our system and we are protecting some of Israel's most valuable water companies, and we will speak about how we adapted our solution to protect such closed and very, very important environments. And of course, we will be speaking about our risk assessment report. After 14 days, once you install our agent, we will be able to give our customer a risk assessment report. Now, the risk assessment report will show you all the lateral movement you have going through your network, which is very important to know. So let's dive deeper into the technology and see what happens. We are an agent-based. We are a software that is installed on every computer and every server. And the first thing our agent does is, well, we do active mapping of everything that goes through the organization. And then we will tell you the next thing. In your organization, you have 3,000 software installed. Out of those 3,000, 2,000 are active. Out of the 2,000 software that are active in your organization, only 1,000 are using network resources. Now, I want to stop the spread of cyber attacks. Now, it's very important that I will stop the 1,000, the spread of cyber attacks. So I care about only the software that are using network resources. Meaning, while all my friends will go and start checking all the 3,000 software or the 2,000 that are active, I don't care, because if a virus is dormant, it's sleeping, it's not active, well, it's not doing any damage. The real damage, as we said, comes once it starts spreading through the network. So we will take all those 1,000 software and we will check them. We'll check them by their MD5. We'll check them by their SHA signature. We will check them by their size and various other parameters. We will also be checking their network behavior to see where are they moving through the network, what servers they are connecting, or what are they speaking to with the internet. And then we'll tell you the following. Out of the 1,000 software that are installed, well, 950 are okay, are legit, but I have 50 problematic software that are using network resources. And we will show you software that uses network resources that shouldn't be doing it. We'll show you software that are out of date and should be updated immediately. We will show you software that has known vulnerabilities that hackers can use as a backdoor to penetrate your organization. We will show you software that is unknown. We will show you software that is speaking within the network, such as a screensaver that go through the network that shouldn't be doing it. We'll show you different broadcasting that go through the network, IPv4, IPv6. We'll show you everything that go through the network, and that is basically the risk assessment. We will show you what transpired through your network. And once we finish, showing you all the software that is using network resources, we will remove the software that is not allowed by company's policy to use network resources, and then we will have the baseline. We will have the complete list of all the software that is approved to use network resources by company's policy. Once we have that, we move our agent to defense mode. In defense mode, basically, we are locking down the network, meaning only the software that is approved to use network resources by company's policy will be allowed to move through the network. Any new software that comes up won't be able to use network resources. For example, if an employee will install Acrobat will work on premise, it will work on the local computer. But if it was not approved by company's policy, once the Acrobat tries going through network resources, it will get access denied. So this is the how. This is the what we are doing. Let's go over the how. Let's go deeper into the patent. Let's go and speak about our main patent, our main idea, the chaos engine. I will show you at the beginning 2 computers on the internal network. We'll speak about 2 computers on the internal network and how we are blocking and preventing malicious software from moving to the network. We will go afterwards on different attacking scenarios to show how our system deals with different attacking scenarios. And afterwards, we'll go and start speaking about different environments. What happens when I go out of the network? What happens with firewalls and connectors and other devices that go through the network. But let us begin going with 2 computers on the internal network. And as we stated in the beginning, a single computer might be penetrated by a malicious software. And as we can see in the diagram in front of us, the computer on the left was infected by a malicious software. Now, as we can see, our agent is installed on every computer and every server. Our agent is a network filter driver. I sit in layer 4. The agent is built on 3 unique parameters. The first parameter is the list. The list of all the software that is approved by company's policy to use network resources sits in every computer and every server. The second parameter is time, meaning every second I change something in the network, and I will elaborate on that in a couple of more seconds. And the third parameter is the same chaos mathematics that we are using. Now let's run this scenario and see what happens. So I have an infected computer. I have a computer here that was infected by a malicious software. But on the infected computer, I also have legit traffic. I have a software that is approved by company's policy to use network resources. And that approved software wants to speak with the other computer using port 80. It will reach my agent, and my agent will identify that this software is in the list. This software is approved to use network resources by company's policy. Once I identify that I have an approved software, I will run it through my chaos algorithm. Or in other words, I will scramble the port. The port will now be scrambled to 10,000. On the other computer and on every other computer within the network, everything that comes in, no matter what. I don't care if you're in the list, you're not in the list, you're approved, you're not approved, you're identified, you're a 0-day, I don't care. Everything that comes in gets de-scrambled by reverse algorithm. When 10,000 wants to come in, it is getting de-scrambled back to 80, and everything is okay. Now, let's simplify this procedure so we can better understand it. Approved software, approved traffic. 80 multiply 10,000 divide back to 80. Basically, we are doing opposite mathematical actions on the port numbers, only instead of using multiply and divide, we are using chaos algorithm. Now, on that same infected computer, I have a malicious software. I have a software that is not approved to use network resources. I have a zero-day attack, something new that just came out, and nobody knows how to identify it. And even me, I cannot identify it. And that same malicious software wants to spread through the network, infecting other computers and other servers using port 80. It will reach my agent, and my agent will not be able to identify it. Or better yet, my agent will see that this software was not approved to use network resources by company's policy. Well, once I identified that this software was not approved to use network resources, I don't touch it. You want to go out in 80, go out in 80, everything is okay. On the other computer and on every other computer within the network, everything that comes in gets descrambled by reverse algorithm. When 80 will try to come in, it will get descrambled to 4800 and the computer will drop it. Now, this is changing the rules because I'm no longer trying to do application control. We are doing network application control, which is more strong. I cannot protect the first computer, so I'm protecting it through the network. I will protect it through the computers that are not infected. Now, the second parameter is time, meaning every second I change the scrambling tables. So a hacker won't be able to do machine learning and understand what will be the next port scrambling. Think about it. Every second I change the scrambling tables, meaning 80 is now scrambled to 10,000. A second has passed, 80 is now scrambled to 5. A second has passed, 80 is now scrambled to 400, and so on a completely random matter. So a hacker can never do machine learning and understand what will be the next port scrambling or what will be the next port. And even if a hacker is lucky, and he was able to identify the port 10,000, after 1 second, the port is already changed. So even if he was able to transmit one packet, after 1 second, everything is changed. Now I scramble the source and the destination as well. And everything is connected, and I cannot rely on Windows time. So we have our own chaos time, and everything is synchronized through our chaos time. Even if I have computers on 2 different states, they will always be able to scramble and descramble. So let's go over attacking scenarios and see how the system deals with different attacking scenarios. Usually in attacking scenarios, hackers can try to bypass the defense system. Hackers can try to deactivate the defense system. Hackers can try to add themselves to the list of software that is approved to use network resources. And of course, hackers can try to do a piggyback, a chain attack, a virus infection. They can try to use legit software to do the work for them. And in the end, we will also be speaking about a man-in-the-middle attack. What happens when somebody comes to the company, plugs the computer to the wall, and start listening to the data. So let's go over them and see how it happens. There are attacks that are devised to go under the operation system, run straightly on the chip or straight on the motherboard. Most famous attacks of them are Meltdown and Spectre, famous on the Intel chip attacks. And attacks that are devised to go under the operation system in order to bypass everything, well, they will also be able to bypass me. But if they bypass me, even if they go under me or above me or not through me, if they bypass me, they will still go out in port 80. To any computer they will try to reach, they will get descrambled and dropped. So the hacker understands he cannot bypass me. So immediately the hackers do like a very good hacker. He removes the defense system. He disables the defense systems from the infected computer. Now, as we can see, Cyber 2.0 is no longer installed on the infected computer. But instead of getting control over the infected computer, instead of getting advantage, well, basically the infected computer is now locked out of the network. all the traffic that goes out of the infected computer is no longer scrambled. To every computer it is trying to reach, it is getting descrambled and dropped. So the infected computer is now locked out of the network. And here comes to play two main advantages. Well, first of all, network access control. We spoke about it in the beginning. Let us elaborate on it a bit more. Any device that wants to go through the network have to go through my agent. Otherwise, it won't be able to speak with no other computer. And this attack shows us the great strength of our network access control solution. And once we understand that it is a great network access control, then we can understand the next one, a man in the middle. What happens when somebody comes to the company, plugs the computer to the wall, and start listening or start speaking with the other computers? Well, a man in the middle won't work either, because anyone that will try to go through the network and it doesn't have my agent to any computer it will try to reach, it will get descrambled and dropped, so nobody will speak with it. So again, our solution here isolates any unrecognized or unauthorized devices that are transmitting data to the network. They don't have my agent. So the hacker understands it. He cannot bypass me, and he cannot deactivate my agent. So he says, all right, let's use the agent. Let's start going through the agent. And since he got a hold of a local computer, if one computer was penetrated, then he gets the local admin on that computer. Now, as a local admin, he comes to the agent and he says, I'm the local admin, right? Take my malicious software, add it to the list, and let me go through your scrambling mechanism. Now, here comes to play one of our advantages using chaos algorithm. As we've seen before, we are doing opposite mathematical actions, and all the network is equalized in the same mathematical algorithm, enabling us to do scramble and descramble to reach the same result. Now, every change in the agent, every change in the list, the smallest one of them will result in changing the algorithm. Meaning, if I touch the agent, if I add something to the list on the local computer as a local admin, it will result in changing the algorithm. Once the algorithm is changed, yes, you will be able to go through me and you will be able to be scrambled, but you will never be able to be scrambled to the right port because the algorithm has changed. It is not equalized with the other computer. So yes, you will get scrambled 4, 5, 5800 at this example, and to any other computer, well, 5800 will get this scrambled to another number as well. And again, this computer, the infected computer, is locked out of the network. So this is the last attack we will be speaking of, and it is a very interesting and very nice attack that we know, and it was bypassing a lot of cyber solutions that we saw it. Now, this is a real scenario we found in a real customer. Well, we cannot attack the Outlook, right? The Outlook has its own ways to defend himself, and the hacker was too smart for that. So he implemented a malicious software, and that malicious software started doing the following. It gave a command to the SBC host, and it told the task scheduler who told the PowerShell. And the PowerShell gave a command to the Outlook, send a mail to the competition every 1 hour. Now, these are part of the new attacks that we've seen in 2020 because it was no longer about encrypting, but it was about stealing the data. And stealing the data became more important for hackers than encrypting files, because everybody got themselves great backups. So the method of attacks changed, meaning customers were not afraid of getting encrypted anymore because they got a great backup. So even if you got encrypted, you don't pay the ransom, right? You pull the backup 6 hours, 4 hours, and you're back live and everything is okay. But when hackers saw that, they changed the method of attack, meaning they started stealing the data and negotiating with the customers over the web, and the method changed from ransom to blackmail. And we've seen it countless times during 2020. And, well, how can we stop that? Well, since we do active mapping of everything that goes through the network, I take you back to the presentation. We do active mapping and we show you everything that uses network resources. What happened in this sort of attack is very simple. In real time, I tell you, listen, the Outlook is okay, the PowerShell is okay, the task scheduler and the HPC host, all of them are okay. They are legit and they are approved by company's policy to use network resources. But the software that started this chain, that same malicious software was not approved by company's policy. And since it is not approved to use, I drop the chain. The chain that started by a software that was not approved will be dropped. The IT manager will get an email, will get an alert telling him, listen, on John's computer at C downloads, you have something new, and it's trying to do some lateral movement. It was blocked, and go check it out. Now, this brings me to our second patent, and it is very important to speak about it because this is one of the biggest advantages that we have. Our second patent is the reverse tracking. Now, due to the last attack that we spoke of, let's see how the reverse tracking comes to play. So every process that comes up, every library file, every DLL file, every payload that comes up, I record it. Every process that speaks with another process, I'm also recording it. Meaning in every given moment, I know everything that goes through the network and from where it was originated. Now, furthermore, let's take it a step further. In order for us to make sure that every process that comes up is the legit one, meaning I have no injection, no mutation, no disguised application, everything that comes up, I take their MD5, their SHA signature, and their size. Three unique parameters that hackers can never forge all three of them. Hackers can only forge two or one out of the three, meaning if I have a DLL injection and one of the DLL changes, then game over, you won't be able to move through the network. Now, this enables me to give a great forensic view over the network. First of all, I'm able to tell you everything that goes through the network and from where it was originated, which is a great advantage. You know everything that goes through the network. You will be able to know all the words and all the versions you have in your organization. But I will also be able to tell you this Word document on John's computer, what he did yesterday between 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. Now, very important to say, since we are using class algorithm, we have three unique advantages. First one is, well, I don't read the data. I'm not searching for malicious data within the packets. I'm not searching for to understand what's in the data. I'm taking the port numbers and I'm scrambling them. So since I'm not reading the data, I am compliant with all the privacy regulations, with all the GDPR, because I'm not reading the data. Now, since I'm not reading the data, I'm not heavy. I have no latency. I don't slow down the stations or the computers, and I have no delayed responses because I'm doing mathematics, which is native to the computer. So first one, I'm compliant with the GDPR. Second one, well, I'm not slowing down the network. And the third one, which is very important, I require no updates, no critical patches, no updates. I can sit on network. Our software can sit on networks that are completely disconnected from the internet, and we don't need to do critical patches. And there was a new attack, and we need to update everything. So basically, the reverse tracking enables us a great defense protecting the endpoints. Important to say, everyone speaking about detection, well, our detection works backwards. Instead of trying to identify everything, we only identify the software that is approved to use network resources, and we're keeping them safe. We're making sure that only the software that is approved to use network resources are the same one. We keep detecting only the software that is approved. We won't allow any malicious software, any zero-day. We won't allow any piggyback. We won't allow any malicious software to use a legit software to do it for them or to move through the network. This concludes, the protection within organizational network. Now, once we've done with that, and that's very interesting, I mean, we were able to protect customers within their organization. But then customers told us, listen, what happens when, the software goes out of the network? What happens when it goes within different VLANs? Or what happens when a software starts sending my data to the internet? We also need a protection for that. Now, that was a challenge because I cannot scramble the ports to the firewall, right? The firewall will never understand me. Well, in order for us to address that challenge, we devised our own unique gateway. Now, our gateway is an appliance. It's a physical one. It sits in front of the firewall. It sits in layer 2. It's transparent, and it translates the port scrambling to the firewall. Now, let's go through this scenario and see what happens. The same infected computer has a malicious software on it, and it wants to send my data to the internet. Happens on a daily basis on a lot of customers. Now, let's run this scenario and see what happens. An approved software wants to go out to the internet. Come to my agent, getting scrambled to 10,000. Come to the gateway, gets descrambled back to 80 and delivered safely to the firewall. The malicious software that wants to send my data to the internet, wants to connect its hacker creator, or wants to send data or download an encryption key, also wants to go out to the internet using port 80. Come to my agent, and I don't know it. It's not approved to use network resources, so I don't scramble the port. Come to the gateway, getting descrambled to 4800, and the firewall will drop it. Now, there are two main advantages for the gateway. The first one, well, basically, since all the illegitimate traffic is no longer is not scrambled, it's getting descrambled and automatically dropped, the firewall has less data to deal with. And since he had less data to deal with, then, well, it's very interesting because the firewall performance will improve. It has less data. It's not scanning all the garbage data it was getting earlier, and henceforth, it will improve its performance. The second biggest advantage is, well, after securing the firewalls and adding that layer of defense, it was very interesting because we saw something like that. What happens when I don't have a firewall? What happens when I have different devices transmitting data through my network that I cannot install an agent on them, such as cameras, printers? So that was the next idea. And we were able to use the gateway, and that is the biggest advantage, I think, in order for us to secure every device that is connecting and transmitting data through my network, enabling us to protect all the network from everything. Our gateway can protect against cameras, protect scanners, water pumps, temperature measures, and so on. And it opened up all the market for us, enabling us to give protection not just for the end users, but for every other thing that is transmitting data through the network. Recently, we started thinking about it, and we checked it. Physical gateway installed within a connected or autonomous car will also be able to prevent any malicious software from reaching the car. Now think about it. All other defenses that are trying to protect the car are, well, they're dealing with the malicious software once it's already in the car. We will be able to stop it before it was reaching the car, and it all opened up a lot of opportunities. And think about it. One defense system will be able to give you defense to all the components you have within your network, including people that are working from home. The gateway opened up one of the biggest markets for us, and it was the OT, SCADA networks that are industrial networks that are, that are very sensitive, and any attack on OT environments, it's catastrophic. I mean, just today, this morning, I read about a water facility in the States that was attacked, and they were changing the percentage of the chlorine within the water to poison the people. Now think about it. An attack on an OT device can cost lives. It's not anymore stealing the data or encrypting a computer. Attack on OT devices is very crucial. Well, it enabled us to give defense to OT environments. Now, in an OT environment, there are problems because, I cannot install on the controllers, and manufacturers in the OT world don't touch the controllers, and every controller has their own. Some of them are Linux-based, some of them are QNX, and you cannot touch the controllers, right? And using the Vortex enables me to give defense without touching the controllers, without changing anything within the network. And that is a great advantage and a great defense. Today, we are proud to say we are protecting some of Israel's biggest water supply chain from different cyber attacks. So let's speak about and start see what we spoke so far, and let's see what we have to speak more. So we spoke about our solution as the EDR. Now, EDR means endpoint detect and response. There are great EDR solutions out there, but as we stated, detection is the weakness. My advantage over existing EDR solutions mean I don't rely on detection in order for me to respond. We spoke about our forensic capability using the reverse tracking. I know everything that go through the network and from where it was originated. Now, since I have that, we are also able to identify every network obscurement that happens. Everything new that goes through the network, we are able to know it. Our system is a great network access control, which enables you to control everything that goes through the network, and we work in a zero trust manner. Meaning, if I don't know you, I won't approve you to use network resources. We spoke about in the beginning, once we do the active mapping, we will be able to give you a risk assessment report showing you all the lateral movements you have going through your network. The last thing we need to speak about is the working from home. How can we secure an employee that is working from home? Well, in order for us to address that challenge, it's very interesting. When we saw people working from home, then they don't usually have a firewall at home, right? And they don't usually have an antivirus. Now, people were buying VPN, secure lines into the organization, two-factor authentication, and so on, and it's very good. But once the computer was polluted by a malicious software, that same malicious software uses the VPN to go through the organization. Using our reverse tracking, using our active mapping, we were able to give defense to home users because once an employee connects to the organization, we are able to secure and approve only the software that is approved by company's policy. Only those software will be able to connect to the organization. Any other software the home user might have won't be able to move to the organization. Now, once it disconnects from the organization, everything else will go and work the same way, and it will work in a great manner. And since we don't read the data, we are not violating the privacy regulations, and home users are not afraid to be compromised by their privacy compromised by the company. So our system is very simple to install. An agent will be installed on any endpoint. The agent can be installed through the cloud manually. We can use any deployment method and so on. And we started monitor. After 14 days, we give you the risk assessment report, and then we start moving to defense. One more thing that I want to speak about at the end. Well, 2020, a lot of unemployment was. A lot of people were put down on the absence of leave since companies didn't know. Companies were closed, shops were closed, malls were closed, and people were on the absence of leave. But one market remained searching for employees. And every time you search for work, you saw that the cyber market was always searching for good people, for people that will be able to help them. And customer purchased a lot of great cyber solutions, right? Customer bought a lot of solutions, but everyone that was attacked, I mean, they had cyber solutions. They had EDR, they have antivirus, they have firewall. Everyone that was attacked, they had defense systems. But the real problem was, well, you need somebody to work the system. You need somebody to go over the system, to go over the logs, to manage and analyze all the data that is coming from different defense systems to better understand what's going on through the network and to see what's transpiring. And here came something very interesting during 2020, a rise in the demand for security operation centers. Customers needed their data analyzed, and they needed their data, one more professional eye to look at it, and of course, a 24/7 protection. Now we saw that customer wanted to buy, but they needed something more. They needed somebody to look at the system. It's not enough anymore to just implement a system and that's it. You have to implement, and since the cyber attacks are on the rise and they will continue going on the rise, well, we need to go over what's going on through the net. So we started our own security operations center. We have people monitoring the network for our customers. The customers are also doing it. They have a view-only screen and they can see what's going on, but they would rather rely on our cybersecurity analysts, cybersecurity professionals that are monitoring the network 24/7. A bit about the company, and then we will go to the questions and answers. Well, the company was founded in August 2015. The founders of the company is Mr. Herzl Ozer and Erez Kaplan. Herzl used to be the leading CEO of many companies in Israel. The last one of them is Hot Communications, which is the biggest televised company in Israel. Our CTO, the man with the plan, the guy who devised the chaos mathematics defense, is Erez Kaplan. Erez used to be a leading advisor, a very senior advisor for Microsoft. And today, besides being our CTO, he also consults the Israeli Standard of Institute about cyber regulations. We have a great advisory board. Leading them is Major General Professor Isaac Ben Israel. Professor Ben Israel is a very respectful and very known professor in the Tel Aviv University. He is the initiator of the National Cyber Authority, the Prime Minister's office in Israel. He is the head of the Cyber Center at the Tel Aviv University, very well known. From the other side of the globe, on the US, we have Professor Bryson Ronald Payne. Professor Payne attended one of the hacking challenges we did in 2019. And at that same challenge, it was very interesting. He showed that how he can penetrate a Tesla car. He demonstrated during the Hackers Challenge how he can hack a Tesla car. And he said, now I hacked the Tesla, now I'm going to hack Cyber 2.0. And it was very interesting because he was unable to penetrate or bypass our system. And as he said it, it was like shooting nerves on a fortified wall. He's a very well important person in the University of North Georgia, and he's the director of the Center of Cyber Operations and Education at the University of North Georgia. So that concludes that part of the demonstration. That concludes that part of the demonstration, and we'll now be going to questions and answers. Let's see what we have here. All right, let's see. Oh, here's a nice question. Do we have to use the Vortex gateway to give defense? Well, that is a great question. Well, the thing is this. The Vortex gateway is another layer of defense, meaning you don't have to use the Vortex gateway. The Vortex gateway is the last line of defense, and when we install the system, it is the last part we are installing. First of all, we do the agents. We give defense within organizational network. Now, it's understandable that customers bought firewalls and WAFs, and they have a great solutions for protecting on the outside. So you don't have to buy or implement the Vortex gateway in order for you to have the defense. You can always do the internal defense and start with the agents. Not all of our customers implemented the Vortex gateway. A lot of customers chose just to put the agents and just to have defense within organizational network. Okay, let's see. Here's another question, very interesting. How can our next solution give VLANs? Well, that is a great question. It leads me to one of the patents, and let's speak about it for a couple of seconds because that is a great question. As we can see, we can give you great network access control. And, well, that's something that is very important to say. We don't have to deploy various devices and appliances to the network, and we don't have to do port scanning and all of that. We're just doing network access control, and we can do it deeper. We can do application network control. And since we are not using any hardware beside the vortexes, well, we can do different VLANs based on chaos algorithm. Think about it. I can scramble the ports in the HR division using port X. And I can scramble the ports in the finance division using a different algorithm, let's say algorithm Y. Now, basically what I got here is I got two divisions. They are all defended with Cyber 2.0 solution, and both of them are scrambled in different algorithm. Basically, we were able to give you now different VLANs. We were able to give you two different virtual networks based on mathematics without the use of any firewalls or any hardware. And we can do it multiple times, meaning we can do it, HR algorithm this, finance algorithm that, sales another algorithm, and then we're able to give you different VLANs with the use of mathematics only. And that is something very interesting and very profitable for customers to do mathematical-based virtual networks. Oh, here's something interesting. In the beginning, we spoke about cloud, how our system is able to protect cloud environments. Well, that is a great question. Thing is this, it's a work in progress. We are able to protect clouds, first of all. One thing we are doing is, think about it, to the entrance to the cloud, on the gateway to the cloud, we put the same Vortex gateway. Now, when you go out to the cloud, you are getting scrambled out. Think about it, gateway to gateway. We're scrambling all the ports over the internet, right? So when I go from the organization, I have Vortex on the outside of the firewall. And when I go to the cloud services, basically I'm scrambling all the ports towards the cloud. The cloud has an Vortex in its entrance, and it is descrambling everything, meaning that nobody can access the cloud unless it has the agent. No brute forcing, no guessing, no nothing, because everything that comes to the cloud getting descrambled. So any unauthorized users that might try to access the cloud will get descrambled and dropped. And we are currently working about in developing the other layers of cloud defense, but we are also trying to do scrambling over VPN. I mean, think about it. I here from Israel can speak with somebody in the United States, and we are scrambling the ports between us. And that call is scrambled. And every second I change the scrambling tables, and now all the data between us is scrambled, and nobody can go between us. And that is very interesting. And this is also what we are doing to protect cloud servers and so on. Let's see what else we got here. SOC. Let's speak a little bit about our SOC. Okay, I see many questions about SOC. First of all, our system is based on Kibana, and we're able to read all the logs, and we're able to send them to any SIEM or SOC that is outside our own. You don't have to use our security operations center. We can work with different security operations center and send them the logs. Everything will be okay. Our security operations center at the moment sits in Israel. We have a cloud-based SOC in the United States. We have one in Japan, one in Australia, and we are now establishing one in Europe. So it's going to be very, very interesting. We are searching for partners that want to have us within the SOC. It will be a great advantage for them and for us. We are always partnering with people. And let's see what else we have here. Can you share the patterns? Well, we have 9 patterns. I will at the end share the screen again, showing you the different patterns. Working from home, customers. As we said, we have customers in various locations, and I cannot go over all the customers today. Forensic, we spoke about the forensic. We are able to give you anything. Company around 500 devices should have 2 teragigabyte in order for them to have a lot of 6 months backup of everything else. That is interesting. How is the system managed? Well, there is a management server, of course. There is a management server that manages all the agents, and it also sends the time delta to all the agents. And as people are asking me here, yes, if you are able to penetrate the management server, game over. And what happens when the management server is down? Well, first of all, this is it. The management server is protected by a reverse chaos algorithm. It's protected by a different layer of chaos. The management server is out of the domain. It doesn't have to. It's not sitting in the domain of any customers. And of course, like the submarine, we have two keys protecting it. Second thing, if the management server falls down, the agents continue working without the management server. Basically, you have 7 days to get a new management server before the agents go out of synchronization, meaning the agents can work completely without the management server for enough time. And if we need to prolong it due to customer requirements for more than 7 days, then we can do it. I think that's a wrap in the questions. Thank you, everyone, for attending. It was a pleasure being here. If you need anything else, we'll be available for you. You can have our details through our website, cyber2.0.com. And I wanted to say this. Everyone's getting attacked. And, well, if we can keep doing the same thing, we will get the same results. We need to think out of the box, because at the moment hackers are very profitable. They are the biggest crimes for the biggest profitable crimes in 2020 and coming up. So don't compromise in cyber attacks. Don't think it will not happen to me. We're speaking with customers that are getting attacked on a daily basis, no matter where you are, no matter where you are. If you're in the world, no matter where you are, you will be attacked unless you will try everything. Think out of the box. Do something out of the ordinary. Change things. Try different things. Do pilots. Listen to startup companies. The startup companies, not just us, any startup companies that come to you, give them 30 minutes presentation. Listen to them. They bring a whole new perspective and they're thinking out of the box. Make time to listen to new technologies. It's very important to listen to them, not just us. Any one of my colleagues at the cyber and at the startup area, listen to them. They have great ideas out there, and you should be trying them. Because if you keep doing the same things, you will always get the same results. And the same result is, it's not a question of if, it's a question of when you will be attacked. Thank you very much. I was Sneer. Take care.